You might have noticed that our conker trees, something is happening to our conker trees. In fact, our conker trees are under attack from an alien invader. That alien invader is this rather attractive moth shown at the top there, tiny little moth, and it's got caterpillars which form leaf mines in the leaves of these horse chestnut leaves. There can be so many on a single tree that the trees can turn completely brown by the middle of summer. And in fact, in Bristol, it's been here for 6 years. And already, most of the trees, you can identify horse chestnut trees because they're the brown ones in the middle of summer. One of the things which has really caught people's attention about this is the fact that it's been spreading so quickly. It's only been in this country for a decade. Now, as a scientist, I do research on the impacts of environmental change on biodiversity or nature, and how we depend on that. As a scientist, I suppose the gold standard would be to publish in peer-reviewed scientific journals. But I believe that these sorts of messages are too important to remain within scientific journals, and so therefore engaging with people directly is also absolutely vital. And so it's because of this that Darren Evans and I came up with the idea of conker tree science. The idea of this was to be able to undertake public engagement, looking at this horse chestnut leaf miner, and we engaged thousands of people in our first year. But also to undertake real hypothesis-led science. And we've got some work which we've just finished and is ready for publication on that basis. And so people were able to take part in 2010, in the good old days, through a website. It was interactive. They could upload their results, having gone out into the field and made their observations. The website itself was relatively easy to develop, and they could get feedback. They could see on a map as to how their records were contributing to the overall picture. Well, that was fantastic. The trouble is that people were going out into the field. They then had to come back to their computers to make these observations. What would be ideal is to have some portable handheld device that people could take out into the field with them. Of course, many of you have probably got them in your pockets. They're smartphones. And so, along with members from ILRT at the University of Bristol, we developed the Conker Tree Science Leaf Watch app. The idea about it is that you can take a photo, you can upload a damage score to the amount of damage that this moth is doing to the trees in your area. The GPS gets the location really accurately, and then you can have a look at the ground cover, which was another specific aspect of hypothesis-driven science. So through it all, we were telling people the sorts of hypotheses that we were testing, involving them in the whole scientific process as far as we could. Now, I think the Conker Tree Science Leaf Watch app was really successful. That's out of date. It's actually in the region of 12,000 to 15,000 downloads of the app this year, which has been really fantastic. I think it's had the potential to reach out to new audiences, so the sort of iPhone users with their twitchy thumbs, the sorts of people who may not be so directly involved with nature, but this is getting them out there, it's getting them looking. They're able to observe the moth, they're able to observe the sort of damage that happens, the environmental change that's going on. All these sorts of things, I think, is a really effective way of directly engaging with people. Of course, the other thing is everyone likes conkers. The newspapers and television certainly do. There's nothing quite as quintessentially English as a conker tree, so you might be led to believe, despite the fact they've only been here for 100 or a couple of hundred years. But nonetheless, the whole idea of combining the sort of threats to our conker trees from foreign invaders with, you've got to be careful how you sell that message, combining that with modern technology and the whole idea of apps made it very newsworthy, so it got picked up by a whole load of different news sources, which was really exciting. The other thing, which I'm really passionate about and I believe is really important, is that through this, it was leading to better science. We were able to have several thousand more research assistants on this project because that's effectively what they were. They were going out, they were gathering the data on our behalf, and being involved directly in the scientific process. And so the other great thing is that we could have greater accuracy. So people could go out, they could get their location much more accurately, and it was much more easy to take part with the app. Having got the photos as well, the really exciting thing is that we could validate their scores to see how accurate people were. And in fact, we are going currently one step further, and we're asking people to validate the people's scores. So I'm almost redundant in this whole process, which is really exciting. Because it gives me space to think about other things, which might be where you come involved as well. Because Conquer Tree Science, the LeafWatch app, is one example of what could be a whole family of nature locator mobile apps. What we're keen to do with Conquer Tree Science is to push the technology further, make it more interactive in ways which we've got ideas about. But if you've got particular things where it could be excellent public engagement, but equally excellent real science, then please talk to me and see if we can build up some partnership. Thank you.